Hey everybody, welcome back to Super Buddies Forever. It's windy and I thought I would take some time and just share with you a doll I'm very fond of, a male doll. It's called World Peacekeepers. This is a line, you know what, I'm not sure who makes it, I'll have to look that up. You know, I'm a fan of these. Okay, so it's M&C Toy. I should look that up first. I'll talk about prepared. You know, I'm a fan of these because of the Alex dolls, and that's what he came from, World Peacekeepers. A thank you again to Noodle War for introducing me to these. As I said, I was looking for family dolls and I needed one that looked like Alex. The resemblance of this doll to my husband still blows my mind. It makes me smile. Love it. And yes, these definitely look like Alex. So these have been a treat. And then it turned me on to the whole line altogether. So I have quite a few and I'll show you a little later. But for now, I just thought, you know, I'm going to take this opportunity to show you my latest. It's this feller. And he's pretty neat. I love his gray hair. We'll open him up, of course. This is a new box. When I first got, you know, I'm jumping ahead of myself. I just want to talk about them. I just do. If you're interested, you'll watch, and if you aren't, you'll click it off. But I'm going to show size differences and what clothes fit and the ones I have, and just chit chat about why I love them. And especially for male dolls, it's fun to have differences. None of them have rooted hair, but their molds are so cool that, you know, they just are what they are. So back in the day when I got Alex, I got the Alex doll, which was a Ranger. Definitely a World Peacekeepers Ranger, and what fun we had finding all the ones we needed for him. They came in a lot larger box. The doll was more standing up and had tons of accessories. I literally have a bag of the accessories they come with. They come with so much. And this one, they seem to have reduced it. Those were bought at Big Lots. There'll be a video right up here. We had a lot of fun. I got really live footage of when we found the doll, how excited we were, Alex getting it, all that good stuff. They were only $13 at that point from Big Lots. Now I've been looking at Big Lots for more, and they haven't had any. And I guess they're not carrying them anymore. And now they're doing it this way. So I got this off Amazon. I had some points, and now instead of 13, there are 20. Yeah, I hope they don't get any more than that, especially because they reduced the stuff. So this seems to be the newest round. That fella I got already, and he was in before, but these all seem to be fairly new molds. A little bit boring. What is interesting is it was few and far between that they actually had these hands. Most of them came with gloves, and that was kind of a turn-off. I had to buy extra to get extra hands for Alex's doll. I put my own wedding band on there. This pair I adapted and I cut some off and turned that into hand gloves. So when he's in dressy outfits or his marine dress blues, which I still have not tried on, then he can have gloves. So that made that suitable for that. Strangely enough, this one seems to have broken inside, and I don't remember now if I did that. I think I did. I might have made you, I don't know. And either way, it still goes on. So they come on and off for dressing. They're a little snug, but they do. They didn't have many gloves. There was only like one or two that had gloves, one in a pack, and then one in a bigger, more expensive pack. But now all these fellas seem to have regular hands and not gloves. So that makes them nicer. So let me get him open and we'll chat some more about these World Peacekeepers. I really liked his gray hair and the goatee, even though that would be kind of dumb if you had to put a gas mask on your face. So he came with a few accessories. I'm not really into wartime stuff and all that, so I don't even know what this is for. This looks like a camera. Night vision. Knife is cool. Who cares? Goes in the bag of stuff. So this particular fella, who seems to be a newer one, this is what he looks like. His eyes look a little bit better done now than the older ones. There seems to be a little bit more eyeliner detail in terms of compared to the Alex Ranger doll. There's a difference. Now these molds look near the same, but most of them aren't, even though it is not, because if you look at his beard markings, this one doesn't have it. I think they just happen to have similar noses. You'll see, that's something I like about them too. The molds are really quite interesting. Actually, here's one which also shows, I guess his eyes are better. There's been funny debates on who he looks like. This is how the heads look when they come off. So Ken bodies and these do not interchange. There was somebody online who made a Ken doll go on here. That was quite amazing how they did that. A little too crafty for me. Maybe later when I get desperate for more bodies for Ken. Anyway, that's a side story. This is cool because he has a different body. He is more muscular. He's got tons of articulation. 100% wonderfully made doll, and it's a little bit cheap, but not wholly cheap. I did break one. I keep this. This was an Alex doll. I dropped him on a tiled floor and his knee broke. I mean, that has happened with Monster High dolls, so it's not that they're totally cheap. They're just different. And the joints, some may think as kind of ugly. I'm just happy for the articulation. If you wore a longer shirt, they'd be fine. They all have the same body, and I like the difference. I mean, I just really do. And I also like the clothes. The clothes are very, very well made. The shoes are pretty good too. They don't have a slit. Every outfit is really well done. These are not on Velcro. That's kind of a bummer, but at least they don't got long hair, so that's okay. Even these belts, they actually work and open up properly. Those are just some cool details. Even if I don't use them, this isn't junk. It isn't a junk doll, that's for sure. The tags, army tags here are really cool too, just as a extra. So it's a neat doll. Figurine. I think you can't look it up on eBay as doll. You gotta say figurine. That's because these are military figurines, not dolls. But he's cool. He's now, I don't own a G.I. Joe, but when I look at the pictures, they have a slight gorilla look. Like their arms and hands are too big and long. And I think this one has that a little bit. But by pictures, I don't think as bad as the G.I. Joes look. Far more gorilla-ish than this. So what does that leave us to chat about next? So he's cool. I'm glad I got him. We got more hands, which is always wonderful. Alex has got more pals from the military. Those are new to us. Alex was in the Marines, or he is a Marine, always a Marine. So these are kind of cool to me too. Now comparison again. This one was broken. Heads are easy to pop in and out. Interestingly, most of the skin tones all really very much match. So when I get the hands, they mostly look at those two, totally look the same. They all interchange. There was this guy was the SEAL, Navy SEAL, I think, and he came with these kind of feet, which are kind of, so be careful of that. And that was so that this would fit on for him to be, you know, frog swimmer and stuff like that. You can't, his comes off, I don't know why, because you can't exchange it with different feet. I don't quite understand the concept of that, but that's just something to note. And that was this particular faced guy, and he came with hands, so I ended up with two of him at $13 from Big Lots to get the hands. So I kept one of his faces and took it out. Anyway, where was I? So those heads go in and out. You can interchange all of the bodies because the skin tones are pretty much exactly the same. We'll see that better when I show them all. Size wise, here's an old Ken. Old Ken and him fit really, really good. All their clothes. So those are good, but you know, some of those are kind of corny, so who wants to do that? But they are very, very similar in size. When we get into the Fashionista size, the newer modern size, no go. Those pants, they will not, you can just tell. They just don't fit around that weird ring, and they won't go up. They don't look good. I mean, look at that. There's no doubt you can see the difference there, and it just doesn't, they don't interchange. So you gotta be on the lookout for older clothes. He has shirts that I really like. Now that one is a Fashionista. That one's stretchy, so that one worked. This came with another World Peacekeeper. And this one happened to be big and loose and fits him. So you gotta kind of play with the clothes that are gonna work for him. And some do and some don't. So that's definitely hopefully a helpful issue. There's a dress or a homemade seller on eBay that makes shirts, and she makes them all big. I'm assuming she makes them big for little hands. The fact that they're bigger inadvertently works really well for these dolls. I have quite a few. Actually, I have one right here. Happens to be a silly one. They come with 2 buttons. I've been sewing buttons on them. That's why I got them out. I love these. I'm going to do a whole video on these just because I want to share them with you. And she's an awesome she mother-son team. They are a fabulous, fabulous seller. These are all homemade. And they fit these. They fit Grandpa. And they fit Broad. And I think that's it. They're kind of big on curvy Barbie. But there's some more other stuff that fits big on Barbie. Fits curvy. So I'm going to share that all with you too. But that's another video. So let me put those clothes on to show how silly they look, and let me grab all the rest of the ones I have, because I'm really proud to say I have quite a few of these fellas in my entire Wendy's Doll World collection. Alex has lots of friends, and our Barbie girls and stuff, they just have more choices of boyfriends, because I mean, this head, that's what I'm talking about. There's the 2 different kinds of heads. Well, these happen to be, but the way they fit, the one with the discs and this kind, you get limited on heads, especially heads to put on articulated bodies. Like how many of these we have? I've done dark hair. I don't know how to custom paint a female half as well as a male, so precise. It gets boring. So I'm really happy to have that, even though I don't like molded hair. Oh well, I got choices. I got to deal with it. Here is the World Peacekeeper dolls that I have, which would be 5, makes 6 with 2 Alexes. I think I actually have 3 Alexes. And this is what I chose. There is more choices, or has been, of the older ones, and they're all fabulous in their own way. This is just what I've chosen along the way. That's a little different. I don't know. It's just what I chose. And that's all there is to it. So this was the SEAL guy you've seen. Now he, of course, is, this was a Ranger. This was a Navy SEAL. I believe that's his clothing, but don't forget he came with these kind of feet. And they do fit in the boots, so that's pretty cool and wonderful and helpful. You can see his, like, we already seen some of it, but what a great thing. The details are great. Again, see now these had these ones. These kind, he came with the real hands. That's why I ended up with 2 of him, so I bought him for the extra hands. That's right, that's right. Okay, this fella, he is quite handsome. I love, and I think with all of these now, you can start to see the differences in their face molds, which makes them a little more intriguing. I think he was a sniper, and he came, I got him, he had on the gloved hands, he had on these pants, these shoes, and a white shirt. So I thought the extra outfit was pretty awesome that came with him. That's why I ended up with him. So that is not his outfit if you're looking for him. Okay, we've seen him today. I mean, look at now the nose profiles changing. And is the ears changing? Maybe not quite so much the ears, but the profiles are definitely changing in these dolls, which makes them really quite intriguing too. This fella, I don't remember. Army, Navy, no, I don't know. This one has that guy's clothes on, I think. I've forgotten. I'll note down below if I figure out what they are. So of course this guy I loved because he was African American and he was bald. So this is Alex's bald friend. We don't have too many male bald dolls, and although you can do it with epoxy to fill in holes, that's just a lot of work. This was just much better. There was a few African American choices, and I just liked him. It was the bald head that picked it. Like, look, he's even got the dent in his chin, which is with some males. I love that. Now the bummer is he doesn't have matching hands. Any of them that I've seen so far in African American have all these gloves. I'm kind of wondering if I could come up with something to repaint and match. And I did have a little trip to the store. I might put that towards the end and look some other doll stuff up. It was okay. If you didn't have to worry about it moving and it was on display, it probably would work. Well, traveling around taking pictures of dolls, the hands would fall down. That would make me scared. Here was what Monkey Depot had that kind of worked. You can get these pegs for the wrist and then use any of their hands. That was the darkest they had for AA, and it didn't match. And they also said the AA sells out very quickly, so they didn't have the hands try on, and that kind of stunk for a visual. So here's another example of a different kind that doesn't need the wrist pegs. Obviously wrong color, and in the end they were all just too loose and would fall out easy. This I got kind of recently, as I had broke Alex's doll leg and I needed another one. another body, I seen this fellow and thought he was a little handsome and different. I mean, look at his big honking nose. That certainly makes him very different compared to any other doll male I have, and I like that. And see the different profiles, which really make these quite fascinating and intriguing. They all have the same style of bodies, and again, I think you'll notice with all but the African American, all their skin tones really are the same, so you'll never have a problem intermixing and dropping. Alex was great that I didn't need to buy a new Alex because they all just matched up fine. So that's the ones I have, and I don't know, they don't have the big lots anymore, so I don't know that I'll be looking for more, and maybe I guess I'll peek at Amazon every now and then. Who knows? Don't know any more blondes. I think we got enough blondes. I don't know. Do you like any of these ones? Do you think they're cool? Well, everybody, a little time has passed since that last part. Now I'm finally getting back to it. Luckily, this room is not that dusty. I was out thrifting and found this. Another one that I didn't have. I even at $3.99, the bag was opened, and I mentioned to the person, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it's usually $1.99 for $1 and $3.99 for $2. Do you think someone stole a doll? She thought so and gave it to me for $1.99. So this one has been added to my collection as an unexpected. Sorry, I'm taking him in. It's actually the first one I've pulled him out to look at. Simple. He's missing a shoe, which I think I have an extra because of the Alex dolls, and that'll be easy to fix. But yeah, here's another one, another buddy, another Alex buddy for $1.99. Couldn't resist that. So quickly, I want to address clothes now and shoes. Now I put this on here, and it seems I lied. This one happens to fit, and this is a Fashionista. This was on the fellow with the cornrows. So I guess it depends on what that's the whole thing. With the old clothes of Ken, you'll do pretty good. It's a little hard to get around the foot. So that takes a minute. But then when you get into some of these skinnier ones, not as good. You just gotta try it. Anything stretchy works better. Some will be very, very close, like that one. As soon as you bend them, you get that. So if you're taking a picture, I guess you can get away with more. Some are longer than others. Some of the older ones are shorter. So that definitely becomes an issue that you got to kind of play with. Next, feet. Now, here's an idea too. That foot I broke, I keep these with my shoes. I cut them off, some other Kens that were messed up. And I keep them so I don't have to dig the dolls out. I can always have these on hand. Good tip. I put it on Instagram. I'll put a picture. I did it with all the dolls I had that were junky or broken. With so many different sizes and shapes, males and females, in Wendy's Doll World, my dolls I play with, it just makes it easier to keep the feet wherever I store the shoes, so I can tell whose shoes are who very easily without going to find the dolls that might be already dressed. Good use out of them. That's Sharpie with tape over it so my fingerprints wouldn't happen. So it gives you an idea. Vintage Ken next to modern Ken. It's close, but a little different. And then when we switch and compare to Peacekeepers, it's close, but definitely the Peacekeepers is a little bit bigger. So some shoes, now there's a modern one, and that's pretty close. So some shoes, depending on what they are, and I'm dropping everything, fit, and some don't. And some fit close. Some you got to work on, maybe split the backs when they're really tight, like this one is, but I like on Alex. It takes a little wrestling. I try to support the ankle. That'll look good in a picture, and it will go on more. I just don't want to fight with it right now because my hand's not close enough to my body. And I won't leave that there so it won't split at all, but it'll work. That's one of the worst ones for fitting. Some of the big sneakers fit much better. I believe this is a Justin Bieber, and see, it's less stiff. Those fit wonderfully, so that's cool to know. And he has, where is it? There he is. So that one fits without sticking out the back, lots of room. And that's kind of how it goes when it comes to shoes. Again, so here's, I think, more vintage Ken. And see, that will go on. And that was something Mr. Noodlemore helped me out with a lot, sending some pictures. So again, it depends, but you're not down to no choices. Now when it comes to their original shoes, they're hard to get on and off. These ones, I try to be a little careful. Now when you get the vintage Ken into the World Peacekeeper, it's a little hard because there's no slit down the back. That's easy enough to do with an X-Acto knife. Give yourself room. This is their rubber. Oh, I hate the rubber. It'll fit, trust me. But I hate that rubber. Here's a modern one. It's loose. So that's the way that works. And these are even hard to get on and off the Peacekeeper without that slit. See, it doesn't pop in. The boots are even harder. Oh, there it goes. So that takes a little work. All right. So hopefully I have shared enough information, and it's a very long video, but hey, for those interested, especially when our Barbies can have cooler men. I love the male dolls. It's something I didn't get into when I was younger, and now I'm just totally enjoying it. Okay, shoes, not fighting with them anymore. Here's one of Alex. You can see these are one of my favorite pairs on him. This is K, so that's a Ken. And that's rubbery, and that one fits really good. Sandals and all that fit good. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and leave comments down below, of course, what you like, don't like, do you have them, do you want them, do you hate them, and any other information I might have missed, please share, so those who may read the comments will get to sharing the information too. Love to you all, and see you next time.